Yo, welcome back to Keita Auto. Today is a new day, and today is also a new thing that we're doing. We're going to be reviewing racing documentaries as well as racing content.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so much stuff out here,
Mhm.
especially if you're motorsport junkies and you get lost in the annals of YouTube. You will find that there is a ton of stuff out here
Mhm.
talking about different eras of different types of racing. And so, what we're going to do is dig around. We're going to find modern stuff, current stuff, past stuff, and different disciplines and all that. And we're just going to bring it to you guys. We're going to watch these and then give our impressions of what we watched and what we took away from it.
The formation lap. And what the formation lap is, think of the formation lap. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Complex, if this is
Mhm.
the right way to characterize it. It's like it's like Drive to Survive on Netflix for Formula One, but less drama and just more straight to the point.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this series, because it's centered around Super GT.
Yes.
Um, the, e- the discipline is different. The environment, the culture, in terms of the motorsport in that series, is
Hmm.
way different than Drive to Survive, right?
Hmm.
And it really is a different take. It's very stoic.
Yeah, it's very
It's
stoic.
very stoic in its presentation. That was the first
Mhm.
thing I took away from it.
So, in particular, we're talking about the formation. It's a 3 episodes so far series that Super GT, the official channel, has running on their channel. And we only have 3 episodes to judge right now. But the one that we're going to be judging is the latest episode, which is episode 3. And in episode 3, we have two characters that they're mainly focusing on. The team is the Arta Mugen NSX team, headed by the team principal, the Drift King himself, Tsuchiya.
Tsushia,
Um, and the two drivers are, correct me if I'm wrong, they're Oya and Matsuda.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, that was right. It was Oda and Matsuda. But tell me how you felt about Oya.
he was the established driver, correct?
No, Matsuda's the one.
Suda's okay.
Matsuda's the
He's the
established drummer,
right. So oh yeah, he's like kind of like the young gun,
the young gun, the young gun.
right? So they're basically two juxtaposed drivers. And that's kind of how visually and how they interview them and what it is that they're asking them and what they're taking away from them. You'll see that this is a tale of two different drivers.
Hmm.
One is very technical, very scientific, and that's Matsuda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I got the name right.
Hmm.
A very scientific driver, very ones and zeros. Oya, on the other hand, he's more of sort of like a natural talent,
Hmm.
right? But maybe not have like the all of the mechanics that, let's just say, Matsuda had.
Hmm.
However, he has more of the bravado. He has more of the kind of like the it. Like, he can kind of be crafty in a car,
Yeah, yeah.
whereas
He
the
he
other
has more feeling in a
Yeah,
sense.
and whereas the other driver, he's very mechanical.
Just to feed off of your point, man, you see that because Suchiya said that Masuda, he has to have a car like damn near perfect in
Yeah,
order to do a
yes,
test session for it to run. Like he wants it to be exactly like he wants it.
yes.
Oya, on the other hand, he can take whatever you
He'll
give him
just yeah,
and he'll work it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Outside of very obvious things,
Hmm.
right? Like let's just say like tire pressure's way too low, way too high.
Yeah, yeah,
Outside of obvious things, he'll take what you give him,
yeah. Hmm.
he'll squeeze it out, and then they'll say, okay, what can we do to improve it? And I
Hmm.
think that was what Sushia was getting at,
Yeah,
right? When he was breaking down the two drivers, it's like, okay, the one driver is like, I can't be on top until this car's perfect,
yeah, yeah.
right? The other dude's just like, all right, I'm gonna take this car, I'm gonna wring the hell out of it,
Hmm.
and then we'll look at the data and then we'll see how we can improve on it, and that'll make me even quicker.
Yes.
And it's two completely different mindsets.
Two different
Eh,
mindsets.
Yeah, and Sushio was even alluding to that between the two drivers on his squad. He was describing the difference between the two of them.
Did you feel like he knew how to, Suchiya? Did you feel like he knew how to not so much cater, but how to motivate both of them with different talk? Or do you feel he used the same talk for both of them?
No. He's because obviously he can see there's strengths and weaknesses in both, right? But they're in different areas.
Yeah.
Right. See, so he in the episode, he was way more critical of Matsuda.
He was
way more.
Do you think he expects more of Matsuda? Is that why you think he's more critical?
No, not that he expects more. It's just that he has more critiques. He didn't have them for the other drivers so much, because he even explained that he's a little more free in his driving style.
Yeah.
He's a little more free. So he kind of takes liberties in terms of opportunities he's on track. Whereas Matsuda, the driver he was being critical of, he was saying that he doesn't do that.
You know what? And to feed off of that, one thing that Suchiya did say is that his criticism of Matsuda was, now this is kind of correct me. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but he's basically saying like you have the balls to catch up to somebody, but you can't pass them. And then when you're in front of somebody, you can stay in front of them, but it basically called him weak-minded.
Yeah, because he said if they pass him, he won't pass them back.
Exactly. There it is. And he also said that, when he's driving, it's like get the hell out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like get the hell out the way. But one funny thing about Oya is that all the confidence that he exuded, right, and that he presented to everybody, one thing that did stand out in the beginning was he said that I am scared as hell, or something. He said like something like, to be honest with you, I am really scared. I just don't let anybody see it.
Well, I think with him, see what it is. No driver's not nervous or doesn't have some level of fear or anxiety. Not fear so much, but anxiety.
Yes.
Right, and that's largely just because it's the burden of performance.
Yes.
Okay. All drivers have it when they go out. Okay, so that he's not exclusive to that. What he's saying is he doesn't let it phase him.
Exactly.
He doesn't let it phase him. And then that's really the marker of people who can perform under pressure. They recognize the pressure. They recognize that this is a high stress situation. However, I'm going to perform regardless. And that's essentially what he was saying. It's just like, okay, I got to put that all to the back of my mind at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's funny because remember in the beginning, he was like, it's kind of like, I don't know if he was throwing shots or he was just speaking clearly. But he said, like in the beginning, I looked at Matsuda as like my elder, like I was just learning from him. Then I wanted to be faster than him. And then he also said, I thought Matsuda was gonna achieve more. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta understand.
Like, what do you gotta mean with that?
Well, I mean, I think so. I think part of it is kind of like lost in translation, because you know how like Japanese
it was subtitled,
and then how it translates over, right? But I think ultimately what he's saying is that if he can outpace his teammate, then what is this saying to him?
Exactly.
It's not really a slight to his teammate. Like I said, I think it's more of a lost in translation type of thing.
Probably is. It probably is. And it's funny because Matsuda, it's like, I think he's, from the way he was speaking, I got this feeling that he looks at this more like a 9-to-5 job, not more of a thing like a thing to where he could be free. So I'm not going to lie. Matsuda gives me the vibe that he was kind of forced into racing at a young age.
Well, I was gonna say,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he kind of strikes me as a rich kid. Who's his parents put him in the karting. You've seen it. My son's the latest and the greatest, and I have a whole buttload of money, so we'll pay his way to the top, right? And so he got to the top. Essentially, Super GT. Well, in terms of silhouette or tin top, right? Cars. And so it's like there's a burden of pressure. I'm sorry, the burden of performance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's sort of like, damn, okay, I'm here. Like, bro, when you get to this point, like I said, Tsushio was just like, I want to hear that crap
Mm-hmm.
in so many words, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of like, dude, okay, well, there's not going to be much more in terms of setup we can do to get you to drive this car right.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to have to want to drive the car right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because your teammate here has no problem with this.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is when you get to that level, or you get to that point where, you know, being the son of a rich dude, you know, rich dad and rich mom, rich parents, or what have you, who funded your way through this, they're not going to get you through this right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not when you get to the super GT level and you got a young gun, hot shoe teammate who basically sees, he smells the fear in you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You see, so what it is that you have on him is experience. It's time, seat time. He's a young guy. He had from when I recall watching that, he hadn't been racing all that long.
No, I don't think he mentioned it, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's been racing a good while, but just a lot less than Matsuda.
Like nothing to the degree, because he came in trying to like literally learn from this dude.
Yeah, but the thing about Matsuda, I'm sorry, will you finish?
No, go ahead.
The thing about Matsuda, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't get the fact that he's a rich kid. He might have been a rich kid, right? But I kind of get the vibe to where he really didn't love it. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, because you see that all the time, where it's like parents are living through their kids.
Exactly.
For instance, people might disagree with me on this one. I believe Lewis Hamilton is the same way. And I'm saying this. I don't believe Lewis Hamilton really loves racing as much as you would think he does. Just from what I've seen through the interviews and his other hobbies. I really feel like if he had the choice to choose between being a Formula One driver and being a musician, even if it's a musician that's not like world famous, but like, you know, on the low and is writing songs, he would choose to be a musician.
Well, I think at this point he would.
I'm talking about period, point blank. I think he was all the way up until now, he was just an autopilot. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with Matsuda. He's looking at it like a 9-to-5 job, to where it's like, he even said it to himself. It's like, sometimes he wishes he could just go do something else.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? But then he has the race.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. He kind of has the markings of rich parents who pushed him into this. Okay? And not to say that he's not talented or skilled, is that because he was pushed, he had to learn this. And, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes you might just have those parents, or you might have family members or people around you that can just put you into seats of opportunity. I think that's what happened with him. And he's had to live up to the burden of performance. Mm-hmm. Right? And I really, that's why, dude, why else would you say something like that?
You know, and the other way I think that it could be is just because it could also just be like the opposite. Maybe he just got to the point to where it's like, because there are some people that have many different things that they do throughout their lives. He could have been a race car driver all the way up until 40. But then after 40, it's just like the drive is just gone. Now he wants to be a painter. You understand what I'm saying? Well, no, that's also something else that could be for him as well, you know?
But in your Lewis Hamilton example, I think that's what's going on with him.
Yeah.
I don't think that he hasn't. I mean, dude, like the way he's excelled at driving.
Who are we speaking of right now?
Lewis Hamilton. The Lewis Hamilton analogy you were talking about. Like if just to kind of touch on that, if he didn't love this, he wouldn't have excelled the way he did.
Yeah.
Right. I think though, the last few seasons has soured him.
Yeah.
I think it has soured him, and what you've seen now is more of an outward expression of him to kind of engage in other interests. That's where I do agree with you. But I think it was up until that point, you know, he was still laser focused.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think after that, he does it because he's good. He really he makes an effort to get on the look. He's last 2 races he was on the podium.
Oh yeah, he's been racing. He's been racing good for what he has.
Yeah. But I'm just saying.
Outside of this weekend,
well, okay, yeah, this weekend.
because so far it hasn't been there.
Yeah, this is garbage. You got Nico Hulkenberg, like
looking
yeah,
like the
looking
goat,
looking
right?
sharp out here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? In a Haas, but
right.
but I think though you're starting to just kind of see more of his like art, his creative, artistic expressions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is kind of like now hitting that groove that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, yeah, maybe there's other things I want to engage in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that dude Matsuda, where he was just saying like, there's just days where I'm thinking, I could be doing something else.
Yeah.
Like now, you and I sit here, we're like, dude, we would freaking love to be on a Super GT squad, right? And here he is sitting over here like,
But see, that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of life, because
yeah,
because all that does is just open up different perspectives, and it makes you aware, and be accepting of different perspectives. Like what another person might take for granted is somebody else's treasure. What's the old saying? Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
one man's
You
trash,
know,
another man's treasure.
exactly. So it's kind of like, I think that's the beauty of it. When you're able to see these two differences and these two different drivers and how they speak and how they approach the game, it makes you look at what it would take to run a team, what you would need to have in regards to capabilities and abilities, and able to wrangle the best out of your drivers. You know what I mean? And I think Tsuchiya does a good job of that. You know what I mean? I think he does a good job of that, because honestly, I think Tsuchiya sees himself in the younger one.
Tsuchiya, like, dude,
he was a hot shot. He was a hot shot too.
Drift king, bro. Like, dude.
Did you see him? You just used to see him in the mode best motor, and he had like the glasses on. He had the girl.
Yeah.
I mean, like driving and stuff. He was a hot boy for real.
Look, the guy was like, dude, doing like some of the most like illegal stuff on back country roads in Japan and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what he does is he respects rawness, right? Like he respects somebody willing to not put the vehicle in danger, but to maximize it to the most.
And just see what happens.
Yeah. Like this is like that fine line, that he was talking about. In the video, that fine line, and some people can walk it tighter than others.
Exactly.
Right. Some people need, if you give them the right setup in the car, they're untouchable. But they can't deal with like mixed situations, circumstances, stuff like that, right? Whereas you got other guys, they're just crafty in a car.
Yes, exactly.
So as long as they're able to drive it, they're going to use ingenuity and craft, right, to get results out of what they're doing. And it's two different mindsets, man.
But the funny thing about it is, Oyo, it's kind of like he's being groomed unintentionally. And what I mean by that is because you have to have what Oyo has.
Yeah.
But you also have to have what MATSUDA has. That mentality that MATSUDA has as well, because at some point that driving recklessly is gonna cost you races, because your skills aren't gonna be as sharp. So as you start to get older, you do have to start to rely on the wise decisions that you will make, because of the information that you've accumulated over the years, to make you somewhat more cautious than how you were in the beginning.
But if you drive too cautious, then everybody's gonna have.
Did you hear what I just said? It's gonna make you more cautious, but you're gonna make less mistakes. You understand what I'm saying?
No. What I'm saying is, you'll be more cautious, and then everybody in the paddock will know that you're a wuss, okay, and that they know that you drive safe.
But no one's saying you would drive safe. I'm saying you'll drive calculated. For instance, there's no way Michael Schumacher just, as he got older in Ferrari, he drove more refined. He drove more selective of making the certain decisions that he did. When he was in the beginning, he was just going all out.
The car was superior.
We're not talking about the car. But we're talking. All right. We're talking about.
Let's keep it real, dude. Like that.
But listen what I'm saying. We're not gonna sit here and act like a person that drives daredevilish when they're 20. If they still drive like that when they're 28 and still drive like that when they're 30, they have not learned anything, because you still have to progress into the point to where you are going to be selective of the. That's what I'm saying. No one's going to see you as a wuss. People are just going to see you. That's a smart driver.
Yes, they will. Tsuchiya sees MATSUDA as a wuss.
I'm not saying you be like MATSUDA. That's why I said you be like Oyo, but then you also have some of the characteristics of MATSUDA. I said some. So you do take some of the stuff that he has, because there are some good parts of a fruit even when it goes bad. You still have to use some of it. Now, the overcautiousness that MATSUDA is presenting, you don't use that. But you do use the certain decision making that he uses, or the certain mindsets that he used, because they did say that MATSUDA is consistent over a race distance.
Yeah.
Now, if you're very daredevilish, you may not be consistent over time of a race. So therefore, if you're 20 and you're crazy, you get to 2028, hopefully you're still crazy, but you can be more consistent over time, which makes you more selective in the mind.
He wasn't described as a crazy driver.
I'm not saying he was.
I'm not saying that you're saying that. What I'm trying to do is make the distinction here, because at the end of the day, what was his criticism? He's too damn safe.
Of course.
The thing is that
you're right.
Right. See, so the other driver has a lot of what MATSUDA has, and he even admitted it. I study this guy. I'm studying. What did he say? He goes, I'm studying him. Then I'm getting faster than him. Now I just think I can just beat him. Or he said something to that effect. Remember? We were just talking about it.
I agree.
Okay. See, so what this tells me is that he's picking up the things that you're talking about. The problem is that he's not picking up what the other dude has. Some balls.